finished with our two tests, biological indicator, and we are done also with the Bowie Dick. But before you do anything, you have to make sure to read the printout. It's very, very important. After each cycle, you have to look over the printout. Check, we have like sterilization time, 4 minutes. You have to check if we met the temperature. It's very, very important. If yes, you circle it over here and you have to write your name, print your name. It's very, very important because this document, we kept it. Especially if you are doing ETO sterilization, guess what? They're gonna keep the record for how many years? For 30 years. It was on your practice exam test. So it's very, very important. So remember, when you are dealing with sterilizer, you have to check the printout and sign your name to make sure. So now we're gonna look over the results. We're gonna start with the Bowie Dick. Remember, Bowie Dick is for air removal, air leak. So this is the package from the outside. So the first chemical indicator, it's yellow. So it's processed, it's black, which we are good so far. We have to check the inside. And I can use this as index card for you. We are doing the instrument. We have to check for the two other. If one of them it's not processed, so this one turn from yellow to black, meaning it's good. We have to look for the other one. It's turning, so the Bowie Dick, it's good. So we don't have any air leak. Yeah, for so also sterilizer, sometimes they have to do leak test. Leak for what? For what parameter? Leak test for the pressure. Bowie Dick for the air vacuum, and biological indicator to check the spores. So it's very, very important. So this unprocessed, this process. Now we're gonna talk about the biological indicator. So biological indicator, we need to make sure that the steam is killing the spore. So we put live spore inside, and we're gonna talk about the package. So you can come over here, see what is the difference between processed and unprocessed. This one, it's unprocessed, it's yellow. You have to twist it. So it turned brown, so it's processed. Also over here, it's brown. Over here, unprocessed. It's blue, as you can see. So we have a processed biological indicator. Also, I put a chemical indicator to make sure also the parameters are met. So blue and black, meaning everything it's good so far. So this is the difference between unprocessed and processed. Now we're gonna talk about the biological indicator. Remember, we start with live spore. So now we have different type of biological indicator. Some biological indicator, you're gonna have control with them. For each test, you have to have one control for the whole day. In this pack, you have one control for each week. What does that mean, control? Control, I have to have from the same batch. Control, I need to make sure I start with live spores. So always the control must turn positive. I'm gonna show you how to put it in the reader. So always you are expecting the control to be positive because we need to make sure we start with the live spore. So when we put the biological indicator inside the incubator, and some incubator read the printout in 2 hours, in 4 hours. This one over here, it's gonna take 24 hours. So you are not gonna see the results if we have live or dead spore. So what you're gonna see is the one from yesterday, because yesterday I did one, so we can read the results today. So always we are hoping the test to be negative. When the test is negative, it's gonna stay purple. It's not gonna change color. If the color turn to yellow, meaning we have a positive test. What happens if you have a positive test? If after 24 hours you come and you find out you have a positive test, what you gonna do? you're gonna reprocess everything because the steam, it's not killing the spore. But always the control must be positive. The control meaning you have same batch of spore. And what type of spore we have over here for the steam sterilization? Geobacillus thermophilus. You have to remember that name. So like I said, different tests, they have different control. Like for this one control for the whole week. So each time you have to run a test for the whole week, you don't have to run a control with it. But some, they have one control for each day. So it's better to do a biological indicator weekly, but they prefer it daily. Some facility do it daily. By your book, it's required weekly, but better daily. If you have any load with any implant, you have to run biological indicator in each load. That's the requirement. So it's very, very important to make sure we don't have any luck. We need to make sure all the steam is killing the spores. So also it's very, very important, you have to document. It's very, very important. You can come over here. You have to write the load number. Why we have to write the load number? Just in case we find out this, it's turned to be positive, so we have to recall everything. So we are doing steam sterilization. You have to write the results of the Bowie Dick. Bowie Dick turned negative, so we don't have, so you have to write the results. You have to write the load number and what's inside the load number and why it's very important. I told you to keep the print out because steam exposure, like how many minutes, like 4 times at 270 degrees, so you have to write everything. Content, what you have in your load, like GYN set, ENT set, whatever, it's very important. And biological indicator, we cannot see the results now because you have, some they have it in 2 hours, some 3 hours, this 24 hours. So you cannot put anything or negative or positive because we didn't know, so you keep it. Incubation time, it's very important, like today, and time out when I'm gonna take it and you put the results. But like, I can put the Bowie Dick, yes, they are acceptable because we saw the results. So it's very important to document. So for ethylene oxide, they have to keep the record for 30 years. It's very important. So it's very important when you're using any sterilizer type, you have to document. Documentation is very important. Also, you have to make sure when you are doing biological indicator and control, this is the control. But I'm not gonna do one today because we did one for Monday and we are not gonna do this for the whole week. You have to make sure they are matching in number. 200715. They are matching in number because I cannot put a test with different control number because they are coming from the same material, from the same source of spores. For example, over here I have same type, but I have different control. So this, it's not gonna be with this one. This, it will go with that batch. So it's very, very important. Make sure they have the same lot number. It's very, very important. You have to sign your initial over here, put the date and time. Even if you record it over here, make sure to put your initial and time and date because I'm gonna leave for today. Who's gonna take over, from me? So it's very important to write what time you put it and what time it's gonna take out. Like you can read over here, you can come over here. We have different type of biological indicator. Some in 2 hours, some in 4 hours, some in it depends on your facility. It depends what type of incubator they are using. So now, like I said, today we did the test, but we are not gonna read the results because it's gonna take 24 hours. But I did the control on Monday, it turned yellow, which is good. That's what I want. So I have proof we have live spore in that batch. So I don't have to do another control for today. This, I did it yesterday, so still purple, which is good. So the steam is killing the spore. So always we are aiming for a so this we call it negative. If it's purple, negative. Yellow, meaning positive. Always the control is positive. The test must be negative. So how to incubate the biological indicator? This, you can crack it with it, but this give me hard time. you can see over here, this plastic is gonna crack from the inside. So I'm gonna use the bakey, little bit, and make sure the tip is closed. So only small crack. That's it. You hear it. And some people, they can do it by hand, but me, I have weakest hand. You have to shake, make sure all the spores are, and you put it over here for 24 hours to read the results. So any question about how to read the results? So in some facilities, they have incubator, to read the results in 2 hours or 4 hours, Very important to document the results, if they are negative, if they are positive. If we have a negative test, so we can process with our, instrument. If we have a positive test, what we have to do, we have to reprocess everything and or recall. If we have a negative control, what you're gonna do? If the control is negative, what you're gonna do?
Process.
If the control is
Recall.
negative, I don't have a proof we have live spore, so I cannot use that badge.
Okay.
I have to give it back to the manufacturer. I have to notify my, supervisor, because I don't have proof we have live spore. So maybe sometimes, manufacturer, mistake can happen. So always you have to read both. So this must be positive. Yellow, sometimes they're gonna ask you yellow, what's that mean? So yellow, it's positive. Purple, it's negative. Test must be negative. Control, always positive. So, and every load with implant, you have to run biological indicator. Sometimes they run one biological indicator for, like I told you, by your book, it's once a week, but preferably every day. So it depends on the facility, sometimes with every load, but the most important requirement, at least once a week, preferably every day. So any question? Okay, thank you.